Good evening, BZB, and welcome to Sleep Better Podcast by BZB's Honey, where we share special sleep stories to help you sleep better. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the incredible dedication and care you pour into each day. Your commitment to nurturing others is truly admirable, but tonight, this time is solely for you. It's your turn to be cared for, to be soothed, and to embrace the tranquility that you so richly deserve. Imagine for a moment the gentle embrace of serenity, wrapping around you like a soft, comforting blanket. Tonight is about letting go of the day's worries and immersing yourself in a world of peacefulness and rest. Remember, BZB, caring for yourself is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Your well-being is the foundation from which you can continue to spread kindness and compassion to the world. This story, crafted especially for you, BZB, is a journey to a place where dreams blend seamlessly with reality, where the mind finds solace and the spirit is gently lulled into a state of blissful repose. So settle in, BZB. Let the world outside fade away as we embark on this peaceful journey together. Let's begin. In the heart of a small, bustling town where everyone knew each other by name, lived Jane Smith, a dedicated nurse with a gentle spirit and a nurturing heart. Her life was the epitome of routine and comfort, surrounded by the love of her family, her supportive husband, and two spirited teenagers who filled her days with a blend of chaos and joy. Jane's career in nursing was more than just a job. It was a calling. She had climbed the ranks from a nursing assistant to a respected nurse, known for her empathy and unwavering dedication to her patients. Her modest home, with its vibrant garden, was a reflection of her life, organized, flourishing, and full of care. Despite her fulfilling career and loving family, Jane often found herself searching for something more, something to quench the thirst for knowledge and self-improvement that lingered within her. Her evenings were often spent curled up with a self-help book, the pages whispering secrets to a better life, promising solace in sleep and energy that seemed just out of reach. Her garden was her sanctuary, a place where she could lose herself among the flowers and plants, each bloom a testament to her patience and love. It was here, in the quiet whispers of the leaves, that Jane found her moments of peace, dreaming of ways to bring more wellness and happiness, not just to her life, but to the entire community. As the town nurse, Jane was a familiar face at local health fairs and community events, always eager to learn and share new health and wellness tips. Her presence was comforting, her advice sought after, and her dedication to the community unwavering. Yet as the stars blinked awake in the velvet night, Jane couldn't help but feel the weight of a lingering restlessness, a whisper of desire for a deeper connection, a more profound change. Little did she know, the winds of change were already stirring, ready to sweep her into a journey that would challenge her views, awaken new desires, and lead her to discover the myriad shades of life beyond the comforting hues of her familiar world. The regional health conference was held in a bustling city not too far from Jane's small town, an annual event that drew professionals from various health and wellness fields. For Jane, it was a rare opportunity to step out of her comfort zone, to immerse herself in the latest advancements in healthcare and perhaps find that elusive key to better sleep and vitality she so desperately sought. The conference was a whirlwind of workshops, seminars, and networking sessions, each presenting new ideas and approaches to health that Jane absorbed eagerly. Yet, amidst the sea of innovation, one speaker stood out: Dr. Alex Harmon, a name that had been circulating in health and wellness circles for his groundbreaking work in holistic health. Dr. Harmon's session, The Holistic Path to Well-Being Connecting Mind, Body, and Soul, was a stark contrast to the clinical, data-driven presentations that had filled Jane's day. His approach to health was deeply personal, emphasizing the interconnectedness of emotional well-being and physical health, a perspective that resonated with Jane's own beliefs as a nurse. As Dr. Harmon spoke, Jane found herself captivated not just by his words but by the passion with which he delivered them. He spoke of health as a journey, a balance of nurturing the body, calming the mind, and feeding the soul. Ideas that felt like a balm to Jane's own restlessness and sleepless nights. After the session, Jane, along with a throng of attendees, approached Dr. Harmon for advice, questions, or simply to express admiration for his work. When it was Jane's turn, she introduced herself and mentioned her role as a nurse in a small town, expressing how his holistic approach could greatly benefit her community. Dr. Harmon's interest was piqued by Jane's genuine concern for her community's health. He listened intently, his eyes reflecting a depth of understanding and empathy that surprised Jane. Their conversation, brief as it was amidst the bustling crowd, sparked an unexpected connection, a shared passion for health and wellness that transcended the professional veneer of the conference. As the day drew to a close and Jane made her way back to her hotel, Dr. Harmon's words echoed in her mind, stirring a sense of excitement and possibility she hadn't felt in years. It wasn't just the innovative health strategies that captivated her. It was the profound sense of connection and understanding she felt during their conversation, a feeling that was both exhilarating and unsettling. Back in her small town, the conference became a distant memory as Jane resumed her routine. Yet the restlessness that had been quietly brewing within her seemed to grow. Dr. Harmon's holistic approach to health lingered in her thoughts, a beacon of change that she found herself drawn to against the backdrop of her predictable life. Compelled by a force she couldn't fully understand, Jane decided to reach out to Dr. Harmon. She drafted an email, expressing her appreciation for his session and sharing her thoughts on implementing some of his holistic strategies in her nursing practice. It was a professional inquiry, yet beneath the formalities, Jane hoped for more, a continuation of the connection they had briefly shared, an opportunity to explore this new path that seemed to beckon her with the promise of growth and transformation. To her surprise, Dr. Harmon responded promptly, his email warm and encouraging. He expressed admiration for Jane's dedication to her community and offered an opportunity that took Jane's breath away, a chance to collaborate on a pilot project aimed at integrating holistic health practices into community health care, starting with her small town. The offer was both thrilling and daunting. It meant stepping into uncharted territory, balancing her already full life with a new demanding project, and working closely with Dr. Harmon, a prospect that filled her with a mix of professional admiration and a personal connection she couldn't quite define. As Jane lay in bed that night, the quiet of the house enveloping her, she realized that this was the change she had been yearning for, an opportunity to break free from the routine, to grow and challenge herself in ways she had never imagined. The decision to embark on this journey with Dr. Harmon was more than a professional choice. It was a step toward discovering the depths of her own potential, the first stirrings of a transformation that promised to reveal new shades of life she had never dared to explore. The collaboration with Dr. Alex Harmon marked a turning point in Jane Smith's life, weaving a thread of excitement and anticipation through the fabric of her routine existence. The project, focused on integrating holistic health practices into the small-town community, was both a professional challenge and a personal journey for Jane, pushing her to explore new dimensions of health and wellness beyond the confines of traditional nursing. Jane's initial meetings with Dr. Harmon were a blend of professional planning and shared visions for the community's well-being. Each discussion, held over video calls and occasional in-person visits, revealed layers of Dr. Harmon's expertise and passion for holistic health, further deepening Jane's respect and admiration for him. It was during these meetings that Jane began to see the potential for real change in her community's approach to health, inspired by Dr. Harmon's innovative ideas and supported by her own experience and dedication. As the project took shape, so did the relationship between Jane and Dr. Harmon. Their conversations often veered from professional discussions to personal anecdotes, gradually building a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Jane found herself looking forward to these interactions, not just for the project's sake, but for the sense of connection and understanding she felt with Alex. Dr. Harmon, in turn, was impressed by Jane's insight and commitment to her community. He saw in her not just a skilled nurse, but a partner who shared his vision of holistic wellness. It was this shared passion that led Dr. Harmon to propose an unexpected opportunity, a weekend retreat to a wellness center where they could immerse themselves in the holistic practices they planned to introduce to Jane's community. The proposition took Jane by surprise. The retreat offered a chance to experience firsthand the practices they hoped to implement, but it also meant spending an extended period in close proximity to Dr. Harmon, outside the confines of their professional relationship. The thought was both exhilarating and intimidating, stirring a mix of emotions in Jane that she couldn't quite decipher. After much deliberation, Jane accepted the invitation, viewing it as a crucial step for the project and a personal opportunity to delve deeper into the holistic health practices she had become increasingly passionate about. The decision was met with mixed reactions from her family. Her husband, though supportive, expressed concerns about the time away, while her teenagers were indifferent, caught up in their own lives. The retreat, nestled in the serene countryside, was a haven of tranquility and healing. Surrounded by nature, Jane and Dr. Harmon participated in various sessions, from meditation and yoga to nutrition workshops and nature walks, each activity designed to promote holistic well-being. The experience was transformative for Jane, offering her a deeper understanding of the connection between mind, body, and spirit, and reinforcing her belief in the project's potential impact on her community. But it was the evenings, after the day sessions had ended, that brought the most significant changes for Jane. As she and Dr. Harmon sat by the fire, discussing their learnings and sharing personal reflections, Jane felt a shift in their dynamic. The professional barrier that had once defined their relationship seemed to blur, replaced by a sense of camaraderie and a deeper, more personal connection. Jane found herself opening up about her life, her family, and the dreams she had tucked away beneath the layers of her responsibilities as a nurse and a mother. Dr. Harmon listened with genuine interest, sharing his own stories and experiences, revealing a vulnerability that Jane hadn't seen before. These moments of shared vulnerability and understanding brought a new depth to their relationship, leaving Jane to navigate a complex web of emotions she had never anticipated. As the retreat came to a close, Jane returned home with a renewed sense of purpose for the project and a complex array of feelings towards Dr. Harmon. The experience had not only solidified her commitment to integrating holistic health into her community, but had also awakened a part of her that longed for connection, growth, and perhaps something more. Back in her small town, as Jane resumed her duties and continued her work on the project, she found herself at a crossroads. The retreat had illuminated paths she had never imagined, both professionally and personally. And now she faced the challenge of integrating these new insights into her life, balancing her dedication to her family, her community, and the burgeoning sense of self-discovery that the project with Dr. Harmon had ignited. After the retreat, Jane's perspective on life began to shift subtly. The serenity and connection to nature she experienced there resonated deeply with her, echoing the peace she found in her own garden at home. This newfound appreciation for her personal sanctuary became the catalyst for the next phase of her journey. With Dr. Alex Harmon, the project was gaining momentum, and their collaboration required more frequent in-person meetings. It was during one of these sessions, held in the modest comfort of Jane's home to review the progress and plan the next steps, that the boundary between their professional and personal lives blurred even further. Dr. Harmon had always shown a keen interest in Jane's gardening, seeing it as a reflection of her nurturing spirit and holistic approach to life. This time, their meeting coincided with a rare break in their busy schedules, and Jane seized the opportunity to share her passion for gardening with him, guiding him through the rows of vibrant flowers and lush greenery that she tended with so much care. As they walked, their conversation flowed effortlessly from the project to personal anecdotes, and Jane found herself sharing more about her life and dreams than she had intended. The garden, with its tranquil ambiance and the intimate setting it provided, seemed to encourage openness and vulnerability. Dr. Harmon shared his own stories, revealing a side of him that Jane hadn't seen before. He spoke of his journey into holistic medicine, driven by a personal loss that had deeply affected him. It was a moment of shared vulnerability that deepened their connection, making Jane acutely aware of the growing bond between them. The day turned to evening, and the setting sun cast a warm glow over the garden, creating a picturesque backdrop that seemed to encapsulate the moment's intimacy. As they sat on the wooden bench, surrounded by the fragrance of blooming flowers, Dr. Harmon turned the conversation to Jane's contributions to the project, praising her dedication and insight. His words, filled with genuine admiration and respect, stirred a mix of emotions in Jane, amplifying the connection she felt with him. However, this deepening bond also brought a sense of turmoil. Jane was acutely aware of her commitments to her family and the life she had built with them. The feelings she was beginning to harbor for Dr. Harmon conflicted with her sense of loyalty and duty, leaving her to grapple with emotions she hadn't anticipated. The project continued to thrive, with Jane and Dr. Harmon working closely to integrate holistic practices into the community. Their collaboration was seamless, their visions aligned, but the undercurrents of their personal connection added a complex layer to their interactions. Jane's family began to notice the changes in her. Her husband, always supportive, remarked on the newfound energy and passion she exhibited, while her teenagers observed the subtle shifts in her demeanor with a mix of curiosity and amusement. The project, once a professional endeavor, was now a significant part of Jane's life, intertwining with her personal growth and the evolving dynamics within her family. As Jane navigated this new terrain, she found herself at a crossroads. The connection with Dr. Harmon, while professionally enriching, was also personally challenging, forcing her to confront her feelings and the potential impact on her family life. The tranquility of her garden, once a refuge, now served as a reminder of the complexities of her inner landscape, mirroring the growth and changes that were unfolding within her. As the Holistic Health Project progressed, it became more than just a professional endeavor for Jane. It was a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. However, with this journey came a multitude of challenges, not least of which were the internal conflicts Jane faced as her relationship with Dr. Alex Harmon deepened. Jane's small town, with its tight-knit community, had always been a source of comfort and stability. Yet, as she embarked on this transformative project, she found herself stepping into the spotlight, her role in the community evolving from the familiar, trusted nurse to a pioneer of holistic health. This shift, while exciting, also brought with it a sense of vulnerability as Jane navigated the complexities of change both within herself and around her. The visibility of the project, coupled with the undeniable chemistry between Jane and Dr. Harmon, began to stir whispers among the townsfolk. Jane, who had always valued the close relationships and open communication within her community, found herself at the center of speculation and curiosity, a position she had never desired nor anticipated. At home, the dynamics were shifting as well. Jane's husband, who had been a pillar of support, began to express concerns about the amount of time and energy Jane was investing in the project. Their conversations, once filled with shared dreams and mutual support, now occasionally veered into discussions about priorities, commitment, and the balance between personal growth and family life. Jane's teenagers, too, noticed the change in their mother. Her newfound passion and the time she spent with Dr. Harmon, both in and out of the professional context, became topics of quiet discussion. While they were old enough to understand the concept of personal development and professional commitments, they also missed the undivided attention and presence of their mother. Amidst these external pressures, Jane's internal landscape was tumultuous. The connection she shared with Dr. Harmon, which had started as a professional admiration and shared passion for holistic health, had blossomed into something more profound, something that Jane found both exhilarating and terrifying. She was torn between her loyalty and love for her family and the undeniable pull she felt towards Dr. Harmon, a man who had awakened in her a sense of possibility and desire for change. The project's success brought Jane and Dr. Harmon closer, their collaboration becoming a powerful force for positive change in the community. Yet with each step forward, Jane felt the weight of her internal conflict growing heavier. The shadows of doubt and uncertainty that had been lurking in the corners of her mind began to emerge, forcing her to confront the complexities of her emotions and the implications of her choices. One evening, after a particularly successful community workshop, Jane found herself walking through her garden, the place where she had always found peace and clarity. The beauty of the blooming flowers and the tranquility of the space stood in stark contrast to the turmoil within her. It was in this moment of solitude, surrounded by the whispers of nature, that Jane realized the true depth of her predicament. The realization that she needed to address the growing rift in her family and the confusion in her heart prompted Jane to seek a conversation with her husband. It was a difficult discussion, filled with honesty, vulnerability, and raw emotion. Jane expressed her fears, her desires, and the confusion that had taken root in her heart. Her husband, in turn, shared his own concerns, his fear of losing the close-knit family they had built, and his longing to support Jane's dreams while safeguarding their relationship. This conversation, though heart-wrenching, was a turning point for Jane. It was a reminder of the foundational love and mutual respect that had been the cornerstone of their marriage. It also highlighted the need for open communication and the importance of supporting each other's growth, while remaining anchored to the values and commitments that had always defined their family. In the quiet hours of the morning, before the world awoke, Jane found herself in the garden, her sanctuary surrounded by the gentle hum of nature. It was here, amidst the dew-kissed flowers and the soft whisper of the wind, that she sought clarity and strength for the decisions that lay ahead. The conversation with her husband had been a cathartic release, laying bare the fears and desires that had been simmering beneath the surface. It was a pivotal moment that reaffirmed their commitment to each other and their family, but it also opened up a space for Jane to explore her own needs and aspirations. Jane recognized that her journey with Dr. Harmon and the Holistic Health Project had awakened a part of her that she could no longer ignore. It was not just about the professional satisfaction of contributing to her community's well-being. It was about honoring her own growth and the stirring of her soul towards something that felt both new and deeply familiar. As the first rays of sunlight broke through the canopy, casting a golden glow over her garden, Jane felt a sense of peace envelop her. She knew what she needed to do, and with a resolve that felt both empowering and daunting, she set about making it happen. Her first step was to have an open and heartfelt discussion with Dr. Harmon. They met at a local cafe, a neutral space away from the pressures of their project and the undercurrents of their personal connection. Jane expressed her gratitude for the journey they had shared, the lessons learned, and the impact of their work on the community. She also shared her internal conflict, the need to honor her commitment to her family, and the importance of defining the boundaries of their relationship. Dr. Harmon listened with empathy and understanding, his respect for Jane deepening further. He acknowledged the special bond they had formed, the shared passion for their work, and the mutual admiration that had grown between them. But he also recognized the importance of Jane's decision to prioritize her family and her personal journey. Together, they agreed to continue their collaboration on the project with a renewed focus on professional boundaries, ensuring that their work remained impactful while respecting the personal commitments and values that were important to both of them. With a plan in place for their professional relationship, Jane turned her attention to her family. She spent quality time with her husband and children, engaging in open conversations about their dreams, fears, and the importance of supporting each other's growth. These discussions brought the family closer, strengthening their bond and reaffirming their commitment to each other. Jane also carved out time for herself, to nurture her own growth and explore her interests. She attended workshops and seminars on holistic health, not just as a professional, but as a person seeking personal wellness and fulfillment. She found a balance between her work, her family, and her own needs, discovering a sense of harmony that had eluded her for so long. The project with Dr. Harmon continued to thrive, benefiting from their clear boundaries and mutual respect. The community embraced the holistic health practices they introduced, and Jane's role as a nurse and a wellness advocate became a source of pride and fulfillment. As the story closes, Jane stands in her garden, reflecting on the journey she has undertaken. The challenges she faced, the choices she made, and the growth she experienced have all contributed to a deeper understanding of herself and her place in the world. The dawn of harmony in Jane's life is not just a resolution of the conflicts and desires that once troubled her. It is a celebration of the complexity and beauty of life's journey. It is a testament to the power of self-discovery, the strength of family bonds, and the transformative impact of following one's heart with courage and integrity. Jane's story concludes with a sense of completion and a hopeful gaze towards the future. She has found a balance that honors all aspects of her life, embracing the many shades of experience that have colored her journey. The garden, once a place of solace and escape, is now a symbol of growth, resilience, and the ever-present possibility of new beginnings.